Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is Tuesday, the third, of June. Transfer window has been open for 3 days, and we are still not an inch closer, based on reports, obviously, to signing anyone, which is quite fantastic to say the least. It's quite fun, quite amazing as always as an Arsenal fan. Sit here, sit around, see these things develop for other clubs, whilst for Arsenal, well, nothing happens. Let's just put it that way. Looking at Man United, looking at Chelsea, looking at all of these teams, including even Liverpool, of course, who are doing madness, Man City as well. Arsenal, meanwhile, are sitting, twiddling their thumbs, what it looks like. Obviously, it's not like that, but based on what we are seeing on socials, on the reports, it's not looking too bright, is it? So, we're definitely gonna talk about everything. Zubimendi, there's confusion surrounding Zubimendi. There is Leroy Sané, it's insane. Some talks about Gyökeres, of course, and some bits and bobs here or there that we're gonna tackle today. So, before we get into all of that, smash the like button if you haven't already. Smash it, caress it, destroy it, hammer it, lick it, however you do it, please do it. It takes a second and helps the stream out a lot, let's be real. Subscribe if you're new around here, and as well, thank you for 600 subscribers. Road to 1k begins right here, right now, and we aim to get it. Together, we aim to get it by the start of the 25-26 season of Premier League. So basically in 2.5 months, let's just put it that way. And of course, leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them, we can discuss them, and see what's on your mind, because, well, it is painful. Let's just put it that way. It is a bit painful, to say the least. However, big up Marlon, hope you're doing well today. Big up Pepper, big up. What phase is... I don't know what phase am I in. Currently, I'm in phase I'm almost ready to explode. I just had dinner, and I'm not gonna lie, I had dumplings and stuff like that, and it feels like I'm a balloon at the moment, like getting bigger and bigger. It doesn't look that way, but the let's be real, my stomach is not agreeing with me. Let's just put it that way. It feels very, very heavy. Zubimendi to Madrid, who should have thought? Exactly. Gyökeres seems most likely to us. It looks that way, but we don't know. What phase is flicking? Well, he's winning La Liga, he's destroying Madrid and all this stuff. So, hey, I guess it is what it is. But of course, one of the hot topics of the day, which we're gonna kick things off with, is, of course, Zubidoo, where are you? And all this crap. You know the song and everything, right? Zubimendi has spoken apparently, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit worrying if you are an Arsenal fan. Let's just put it that way. This has caused a massive confusion in terms of everything. I don't think this man knows himself what he wants at the moment for his future and the second part of his career, because last summer it was a bit similar, wasn't it? In terms of Liverpool, and now it's a bit similar in terms of Arsenal. So it's a bit of a worry, let's just put it that way. We got told that this deal is done in January, by the way, by Sam Mogbel and all these guys, so it just proves that you cannot trust anything anyone says on social media until the club puts out itself announcement with the player holding up the shirt. Let's just say it as it is, because it is what it is. And then people ask me why I do these streams, why I talk about this stuff. Well, because it's rumors. It concerns my club, it concerns me in terms of my next season, how it's gonna go. So far, it doesn't look like it's gonna be good, but it is what it is. At the moment, obviously, it's just early stages. It's phase one of the summer window, and everything. But we move. We genuinely move forward. Big up Boyten, big up. Zubimendi is only moving to Madrid, or he's staying at Sociedad by the looks of it. That is my thought process in general. Because we got Merino, right? It is what it is. But we're gonna speak on Nico Williams as well in a second. We're gonna talk about Zubimendi now. These two, no matter how much they have been linked with Arsenal in general, and how much people want to push the narrative that we are signing him and everything, until I see him, I'm not gonna believe it. I never got that feeling. Let's just put it that way. I never got that belief in general that they're gonna leave Spain. That is for me the biggest thing. You know that if you are one of the best players in Spain, inevitably you're going to move to one of the Madrids or Barcelona, right? You know that pretty much. So that is the biggest thing, and I think that if you are one of the Spain's best players, you usually play in Spanish league. Let's just put it that way. Personally, Ruiz, Warts, and good midfield signing, swapped as Odegaard for Niero. I would love to get Fabian Ruiz, but it's not gonna happen. It's generally not gonna happen. I hate that I wanted him so badly last summer when we were mildly linked with him. Let's just put it that way, and we got Mikel Merino instead. Subgunner saying it's only 3 days of transfer window, so jarring. Yeah, that's what they say. That's why I posted on TikTok today. Pepper saw the not TikTok, on YouTube short. I posted on TikTok as well, but Pepper saw it as well. Subgoobers, Arteta fans, yeah. Big up, Mike. Big up, hope you're doing well. Yeah, 100% fact. It's one of the Madrids or Barcelona. You are going to one of those three teams at the end of the day if you are Spanish and you want to basically elevate your career. Because ultimately, thinking about it, like, if you look at the current teams outside of Spain, where are the best Spanish players? Right? You could argue Fabian Ruiz is in PSG, just did the quadruple or treble, whatever, in the Club World Cup. Maybe David Raya, but still Unai Simon is playing instead of him for Spain. And after that, if you just run through players in your mind, you are struggling. Let's be real. There are not that many players outside of Spain who actually play for, well, who actually are the best ones. Liverpool already got Wirtz to turn down to Bayern Munich. Exactly. They just signed Frimpong. They got them to turn down Bayern Munich. Wirtz even posted on Instagram that it looks like it's gonna happen. And Gyökeres as well. It's gonna be a 4 or 5 year deal and everything. So they're gonna sign 3 massive players as well. And it's insane. You would think they just lost the league by 2 points, but no, they won it, by the way. Their aim, I think, for Liverpool next season is gonna be fight for the league as long as you can, but I think that they probably could shift their main focus to Champions League for next season. Why we ain't going for midfielders in Portugal discover next Vitinho or Neves? Well, think about it this way. Arsenal went to Portugal the same year PSG did. Pretty much. More or less 1 year, or at the same year or 1 year apart, right? And Arsenal got Nuno Tavares and PSG got Nuno Mendes. You see the difference? Arsenal got Fabio Vieira. Well, PSG got João Neves. Like, you see the difference as well, right? You see that difference, right? Liverpool have big club mentality. Arsenal have, well, we have, I don't know what mentality we have. Zubimendi is debunking our club's fake news while Wirtz is posting the news for Liverpool, worlds apart. We're not even in the same market right now. Exactly. Like, we are, basically, at the moment it looks like Liverpool are buying and getting their stuff from Louis Vuitton or somewhere like that, Armani, Dolce Gabbana, and all these places. While Arsenal are buying their stuff in Quickie Mart, 99-cent store. Or if you want to put it literally with all the puns intended, in Tesco's. If you get the reference, you're a real one. And got Vieira turned him into one. It's like, it's insane. And to be honest, Fabio Vieira wasn't even the best player in Porto in his position at the time. He was coming off the bench. Yeah, Rumors FC, Interested FC, Linked FC, Eyed FC, On Fire FC, Arteta Wants FC, and all this stuff. But no signings. Yep, we all knew that Zubimendi's crap was just PR bullshit to distract. Pretty much destruction it is as well, let's be real. Us from the PSG monster. To be honest, we got announced Zubimendi that it's done in January, if I'm not mistaken, when we didn't sign anyone and we went out in the cup to Newcastle. Around the same time, Andrea Berta also got announced, just to take attention away. Did you notice that our links with Watkins also came out as soon as Saka got injured, Jesus got injured, and we lost to Man United? All of a sudden. It was the same situation as well, because there were reports also in January and after January coming out that Arsenal had no intention even looking for a striker. But as soon as Saka got injured, right straight after Jesus, instantly they went into the market in hopes to sign someone. Allegedly. Go figure. We got spanked and mutilated by PSG in Newcastle, yeah. And this is what Zubimendi said. Bear with me here. Zubimendi on his future. Of course, there are options. Well, let's be real, everyone has options if there is demand. But it's true that it seems like it's going to be a different long summer, and I don't know how it will end. So basically it means he doesn't have a clue what he wants himself. He hasn't decided himself he wants to stay in Spain or in Sociedad or in Madrid or let's just say Barcelona for the sake of argument just because, or he wants to move to England and be with Arsenal. He hasn't decided himself. Big up Kwame, by the way. Big up Kwame, hope you're doing well today. I don't think thinking about that right now is my priority. I'm here with the national team, which I think already is quite demanding, and if I have to say something, then I will. He added on top of that. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. On his Instagram story on the beach, remember the beach and everything? That was at the time when it was reported he's doing medicals at Arsenal when he was sunbathing on the San Sebastian. No, San Sebastian doesn't have a beach, do they? But he was sunbathing in Spanish beaches. It's an example of what am I trying to say? Can't read. Pathetic. It's an example of what surrounds football. Many times I wake up in the morning and read things that I didn't know I had done. That was a clear example. It's true that I don't take it very seriously, but anyway, I uploaded those photos to emphasize a little that it wasn't exactly the reality that was happening. And he still keeps doubling down on reunion with Xabi Alonso. That's gonna get even better. I have always said that he was my idol, and that for me, it was lucky that he was able to coach me in Real Sociedad B team, by the way, in a very important year. The following year, I was already in the first team. It just shows that Xabi Alonso pretty much is reason why he made the jump from La Liga B team, his Sociedad B team, which is in Spanish 3rd division, if I'm not mistaken. So currently, I think at that time it was the 2nd division, maybe even, and jumped straight in the main team. I don't like to talk about those hypotheses. I prefer to talk about present, because I also think that I would be disrespectful to answer from the national team camp and before facing such an important competition. Let's check this. Who are Spain playing in international games? International matches for Spain. Let's see who Spain are playing in internationals. Example, blah, blah, blah. No, here we go. They play France on June 5th, and it's the semi-finals of the Nations League. That's why it is so important to him, basically. My camera is doing a bit of a mess, I'm very sorry. But yeah, that's why it's so important to him. And to be honest, rightly so, a game against France is a very big thing, let's be real. But anyways, and that's that. So basically, Zubimendi has no idea what is going on. Social media and fan bases and journalists, wannabe journalists, ITKs, IT craps, and everyone are sharing false information all around, by the way. That's why we do these transfer shows. So we can discuss this, first of all. And second of all, make some sense of it. Because every single day, you either get the same sentences about the player, or you get totally contradicting sentences about the same player reports. Because one says he has medical, other one says he's sunbathing, third one says he's not even in Spain, for fuck's sake. Or England. Like, that is the biggest thing. Zubi deal was a PR and fake. Yeah, exactly. Slowly turning Saka into a useless robot, dude. I'm scared for Saka, not gonna lie. If Arteta keeps him pushing like he's doing right now, 2-3 years, he's done. Arsenal are repeating the same nonsense as last season. To be honest, it's not just last season, it's every season, isn't it? Every single goddamn season. I totally get that our pre-season begins in month and a half. July 23rd, we play in Singapore, right? At the same time, wouldn't it be nice to have the players? Let's be real, because most of these players are not even in the Club World Cup. So they should be available, because we want someone from Sporting, someone from Leipzig, someone from Sociedad, someone from Blackburn, that guy, I don't remember his name, who is also a striker. That's the actual striker we're probably gonna get. So go figure. Just a cover to make us calm down, exactly. That is their move, isn't it? That is their move. That's Arsenal's PR move. As soon as shit hits the fan, release some news to calm the fans down. Either we win or lose, we get merch. if shit hits the fan, release some fantastic news like Berta has signed, or we are linked with a player instantly after not signing anyone, making net profit in the window summer last year. It's always like that, covering all that crap. Big up Killswitch. Haven't seen you in the chat since you won the Europa League. How are you feeling? Genuinely, how are you feeling? Excited? Happy? Over the moon? Ange is leaving? If I'm not mistaken, if he leaves, you want Frank from Brentford. Facts. Arsenal does the same. Exactly. It's same shit, different toilet at the end of the day with Arsenal. I don't think there's any DM to pivot to if we aren't getting Zubimendi. PSG are not going to sell Zaire Emery or Fabian Ruiz or anyone like that. Facts. In a hurry. And Arsenal aren't going to sign someone from left field like Nicolas Zewald. Yeah, they're not. So basically, Arsenal gonna be left with, I don't even know who we're gonna left with, Sambi Lokonga? Because today still the reports that Barcelona are talking with Thomas Partey with potential contracts still persist, by the way. So imagine this, we don't sign Zubimendi, and on top of that, Thomas Partey leaves. What are we gonna do then? And now if you look back 4 years when we wanted to sign, or 3 years, when we wanted to sign Douglas Luiz for 35 million, we refused to. So he re-signed a contract, then went to Juventus next window. And on top of that, we didn't sign Caicedo to keep good relations. Every shit is hitting the fan. Isn't it? Every shit is hitting the fan, ultimately. The past actions, well, at this instance, lack of actions, are the reasons why we have troubles today. And that is Arsenal every single year. Arsenal don't play chess. In chess, you have to think 3 steps ahead. And based on how we make signings, it feels like we play, I don't know, checkers at best. We don't think. We just move the pieces and hope something happens. We are basically like big bro versus little bro playing some Mortal Kombat, for example. You have the big bro who knows all the combinations and all this stuff, which is basically Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and all these teams. And then you have the little bro, Arsenal, who just ball mash randomly and just almost drops the controller out of hand and look, I hit you. And then, when randomly in one out of 50 games, you beat the big bro, for example, Man City versus Arsenal, when they're PAMAS almost every single season, or we draw lose to them. One time we beat them 5-1, you are not gonna hear the end of it for the rest of your life. That's what it feels like. Respect to you guys. Big up Kwame. Big up. Respect to you. Respect to you. 20,000 links and ends up buying some reject position like Sterling. Yeah. Don't be surprised if that happens again, though. Don't be surprised if that happens again. Although I hope loan signings are better. Zubimendi to Madrid basically almost done from there. Like, if Real Madrid comes in, I think Zubimendi, like, instantly, with just snap of his fingers, he's in Madrid instantly, without hesitation, without any second thought. This is the situation where Mikel Arteta likes to preach, pretty much, that he wants to sign players who want to play at Arsenal. He said it in previous interviews year after year, right? This guy doesn't want to play for Arsenal, because if he wanted to, he already would be here, wouldn't he? Since the deal was done in January, by the way. He would be here. He wouldn't be saying this stuff in interviews like, I don't know what my future would hold. I don't know where I'm gonna go. Currently I'm at the international team. He would actually say the stuff as it is, wouldn't he? Yeah, they play France and Nations Cup. Big up. Desiree Due, dude. The board understand and Josh Kroenke are manipulated by them. It looks like bringing Berta won't change a thing. Yeah, it looks that way. It genuinely looks that way. It looks like with Berta coming in, almost nothing has changed. It feels that way. That is the biggest thing. At the same time, I will tell you this much. I expect from Berta big things, right? Let's be real, everyone does in Arsenal. After Edu and all these Vinais and all this crap we have had, right? Since David Dean, basically. But, however, I strongly believe that the best of Andrea Berta we will see, not this window, summer window, but the next summer window, which is very pissing me off. Because on one hand, if Arteta leaves, it's gonna be the other manager will have to basically pull this mess together that Arteta will leave. Why not give him some tools already for the future, signing proper players right now? Same old, we are interested working on trying. Yeah, don't worry about it. Rafinha makes Saka run his out before 34. He could be out very quickly. This mid coach ruins everything. Yeah, Desiree Doué, desired gift. That would be nice for the left side, wouldn't it? Simone Inzaghi must come and clean up the crap left by Arteta. By the way, Simone Inzaghi is leaving Inter and he is signing for Al Hilal for 25 million a year, if you didn't know. Tax free, by the way. So we are not getting Inzaghi, so he is off the table. And Inter Milan are looking to sign either Cesc Fabregas or Marco Silva from Fulham as their next manager. Yeah, exactly. Inzaghi left Inter, he will get the bag at Al Hilal. Lol, Killswitch is a funny name. It is, but the band, but the band deserves better than association with Spurs. Oof. That's what he's a gift, exactly. Inzaghi, yeah, Inzaghi has left Inter. He has, and he's going to Al Hilal. No, it's not a lie. It's true. It genuinely is true. Where is it? Bruno, Modric, Bruno, Inzaghi. Simone Inzaghi will travel to Paris on Wednesday to meet with Al Hilal president to seal the agreement. And then he will fly to Saudi this week after signing 26 million euro net, not gross, net contract per season deal until June 2027. So in 2 years, he's going to make 52 million. And then travel to US, where is Club World Cup being scheduled. He's moving. He is going to Al Hilal. That's that. It's nothing. Arne Slot would get somebody working like Gravenberch, not freeze him like Arteta. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of can see it. Just putting it out there. Arteta needs to get out of the he needs to get out of the club and leave the players alone and bring in a proper manager without shadow of a doubt. We need that. Confirmed today that Inzaghi and Inter have part mutual consent. Yeah, exactly. Damn, end of an era for Inter. You will say that, but they will be back. Lokonga could be good for Arsenal, but Arteta isn't interested in the player. Like, he signed it himself, didn't he? So what's the point in not playing him? That for me pisses the most. He has signed every single goddamn player we have at this club, excluding Saliba and Martinelli. And he still doesn't trust half of the players he has signed to come off the bench, influence the game, play as a substitute, rotate and do anything. Like, what was the point in signing them then? Like, serious talk. Not hard, just get that mid-class shit manager the fuck. Yeah, but he's 15 million a year. Kroenkes don't want to waste money, apparently. So I guess that is what it is in that regard. To be honest, lads, I don't think Doué is all that. He's got some tech and tricks, but I also think Enrique simplified the game for him. But that's what good managers do. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate situations. You don't need to overcomplicate the game. Let the players be them. Give them just guidance. You don't need to put them in a system, put them in a box or anything. Give them space, give them freedom. Just give them guidelines and basically advice how and what they should do in specific situations. They will take care of the rest. And if the player is good enough, they have good footballing IQ and they have the ability, they will do it at the end of the day. It's all about coaching now, and Arteta is selective. Arteta is useless at that, let's be real. Then who we can get if Arteta fails? Well, there is Xavi. There is Allegri. Technically, although Allegri is signing for AC Milan, that's a lie. There is Xavi. You could try and get Nagelsmann. Maybe Conte will be available, although with KZB signing, he's gonna stay apparently. So, like, unless we buy someone else out of contract, which Arsenal should be doing in general, because compared to what Arteta is getting and what it takes us to buy someone's contract out and increase their salary by a few million, long term it would be nothing, especially given the profits Arsenal are making year in, year out, hand over fist. Let's just put it that way. Given that this Arsenal is just doing everything for money. Big up, why not? Hope you're doing well today. Big up, why not? I'm good. Hope you're doing well as well. If Arteta misses out on the windscreen wiper, Zubimendi as I myself won't think we are missing out. Who does he go for next, or is Zubimendi a smokescreen for Lokonga renewed? Dude, I swear to God, if we miss out on Zubimendi and Lokonga is the answer in Arteta's eyes, I'm not gonna lie, I am quite breaking it already that we might not even make top 6 next season if that is the case. Javi, Nagelsmann, Conte, any manager that are... Yeah, exactly. You also think Gyökeres is not on it? Yeah, Boyton would prefer Sesko. Yeah, he thinks Sesko would be better, I'm not gonna lie. But to be honest, I can see the arguments why. Do I want him per se? No. As a secondary striker, yes. As the main guy, for now, I don't. Of course, he can come in, hit about 20 goals a season, 25, and he does brilliantly. I will hold my hands up and say I was wrong. But until he proves me that, I'd rather get a guy who actually can score some goals. However, saying that, the way we play football, the style, the system, and all this crap Arteta does, I'm not gonna lie, Sesko fits that system better than Gyökeres. I swear to God, and I'm not a top gunner or anything. You guys know that. But if you look at it the way we play, and since Arteta doesn't buy players and adjust the system to fit the players, but he buys the players to fit into his system per se, so no coaching is required to some extent, Sesko fits in that regard better, unfortunately. Zubimendi medical booked where? Where? It was booked last week apparently, but he was sunbathing on beach. Xavi is a winner. He has won La Liga as well. Yeah. As a player, he's insane winner. We need that 6th place next year, and Arteta might be sacked. Will that do it? It's the sad situation that we have to drop so low for him to go. That is the sad part. Because if we are still in top 4, even 15 points behind the first place by Christmas, I don't think he's getting the sack anyways. That's what's the sad part in this. He was good at Barca, just not good in Champions League. Well, Xavi was very good at Barca for the second season. It was dodgy. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite dodgy. But overall, he did a somewhat decent job. Big up Mubarak Nabongo. Hope you're doing well too. Hope you're doing well today. It's not like Arteta isn't expected to win a major next season just because we sign one or another striker. He's expected to win it all. That should be Arsenal in general. We should be, as fans, and the board should be expecting to win stuff. But since our owners have no ambition in doing that, they just say we're gonna try and go for all these things. Our aim is to win them all, ultimately. We are where we are, aren't we? Man, Sesko and Gyökeres bring back Thierry Henry Berg. To be honest, Sesko and Gyökeres together in like 4-4-2, 3-5-2, 3-4-1-2, something like that, I can see it working. Bring back prime Arsenal football. Yeah, bring it back. If we are runners-up in the Premier League title race for the 4th time, that's it for Mikel Arteta. That is the thing. See, Kwame, you say if we are second for the 4th time, that's the end. But it doesn't feel that way, does it? Because based on the pictures at the Southampton game, where Arteta was sitting next to Josh, laughing, cuddling, kissing each other's necks and all this stuff pretty much, it didn't look like he was under any pressure, first of all. Second of all, they still get the Champions League, they still get the money, so who the hell cares, I guess, from Josh's point of view at least. The board aren't gonna sack him, Kwame. You know how they roll. Yeah, that is what I'm aiming at, basically. I know, because that is also the case. This was when I was on Views on Sports stream Under the Lens, right? And he asked me a question. 3 things that need to change at Arsenal. First, if I become owner of the Arsenal, first 3 things that I would change, right? I wasn't on Arsenal. I said if I could change right now on the spot, like Genie gives me 3 wishes for Arsenal to change, and if I have 3 things to change, what I said was manager, owner, and the board, the hierarchy and everything. I would change it all and begin with all, and instead hire some people who actually have football knowledge. The cult will always find an excuse. Oh, they will definitely. Either the grass will be too tall or the wind will be too soft or something like that at the end of the day. It won't matter, money will still come for those money hungry. Exactly. We need big time change. Get Arteta out. Exactly. Kick them all out. Kick them, yeet them, annihilate them, remove them. Anyways, this is the Arsenal's away kit, and I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like the kit. Seriously, I kinda like the kit. I'm not gonna get it per se, but I kinda like the kit, I'm not gonna lie. Just putting it out there. I kinda like it. Anyways, moving on. According to Gunner Blog, oh bloody hell. Although Viktor Gyökeres and Sesko appear foremost in Arsenal's thoughts to sign the striker, there are also other names under discussion. Ollie Watkins has not been discounted entirely, although the club would have the same reservations on price. Well, it is what it is. Nico Williams news. Nico Williams news. As we all know, Mikel Arteta has a semi for Nico Williams. We all know that. Personally, for me, he's not it, but that's just my opinion on that. I think Boyton would like for Arsenal to have Nico Williams, but for me personally, it's not it. However, here we go. Athletic Bilbao have begun initial talks with Nico Williams to renew his contract. Once again, discussions include a deal that would increase his current 58 million release clauses and push the player's salary growth towards 10 million a year. 10 million a year. Are you kidding me? 10 million a year. 10 million a year, right? That's 192 grand a week. He wants 190 grand a week. But that is if he resigns with Bilbao. Now, if you talk about Arsenal, you definitely must add about 50 to 60 grand on top of it. So basically, if Arsenal want to sign him, we will have to pay 51 million release clause or 52. Then there's agency fees, signing on bonuses and crap like that. And then we would have to pay him about 250, 260 grand a week. Is it worth it? I'm not gonna lie. Bring in good coaches that can develop players, exactly. That shirt is a waste of money. Fans need to be high toxicity from game week, but it's never gonna happen. Everyone's happy in their little bubble with Mikel Arteta here with his perfect hair, nice nose job, and Odegaard waving his arms as he's a pigeon or something, putting his snot into hair, using it as a hair gel when the dog running around, pooping on the ground and everything. Like, come on, man. I don't want a blue away kit. We need a yellow, dude. A yellow away kit. Dude, bring those days back. Genuinely, bring those days back. The Ian Wright kit, man. That's just imprinted into my memory. Thierry Henry in a yellow O2 shirt, man. We need those days back. We need those days back. Big up at Yeti. Hope you're doing well. Newcastle should sign Mark Gehi. If you sign him, that's a great player. Brian Buemo, 60 million. He's going to Man United, so you are not getting him whatsoever. João Pedro, maybe that could work for you. You definitely need a right winger, though. That is one of the biggest things. Jonathan David apparently is in talks with Inter and Napoli, allegedly, so we don't know what's gonna happen there. Big up Normski. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you have had a fantastic day and all this stuff. If you haven't already, by the way, if you're newer on the blog, go subscribe to Normski. He is genuinely sacrificing his day and time every day to jump into the matrix that is Arsenal, to try and save us from all of this. Let's just say it as it is. Williams would be great for us, no lie. I would rather Mitoma over him, but Williams is not a bad alternative. It's an expensive alternative, isn't it, though? And Nico Williams' record is not that great, is it? Nico Williams. He doesn't have like 29 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. Like, for me, Nico Williams screams like Martinelli 2.0. A bit better tech, more pace. He can maybe shoot from outside the box better. but definitely he still feels like a speedboat without a driver at times. The biggest thing about Nico Williams is, though, he's more of a right winger. For me, he's better at right wing than left wing, which is quite ironic given that our right wing is, well, basically untouchable. Let's just put it that way. Nico Williams, overall balance. Let's check this. How is Nico Williams doing? 132 games in La Liga, 16 goals, 22 assists. Didn't Martinelli get like 13 goals and about 8-9 assists in just one season? Like, this is a bit iffy, isn't it? 132 games, that is what, 4 seasons? Well, 3 seasons. That's 3 in 3 seasons. He has 38 points in 3 seasons. That's on average 13 points a season for in La Liga. That doesn't scream too much for me, does it? At the same time, if Mikel Arteta can get best out of him, which, well, to be honest, we haven't seen him do it at all, because every single attacker he has absolutely ruined, it's a complete different story, isn't it? And Bukayo Saka he hasn't ruined because Bukayo Saka actually is that good, because he can actually rise above the BS Mikel Arteta is trying to feed him. He has the ability, at least. Williams would want to match Saka's money in all likelihood. 300 grand? No thanks. 300 grand for Nico Williams seems way over the top. I would rather get Ribery and Bale out of retirement than sign Nico Williams, dude. Where are we? Big up, why not? Second place in a business sense is Arteta hitting the medium KPI key performance indicator, that hitting a minimum KPI 4 times with no serious return on investment, return on the investment, but profits and club value are... Yeah, exactly. And as long as we are second, we're gonna get our odd 175 million from Premier League. If we do well in Champions League, we're gonna get their odd 80 to 90 million. That is already 270, let's just say it that way. Then you add all the PR, all the commercial deals, all the brand deals, and on top of that, the merch sales that they push out every other week. Like, they will make some nice and massive profits either way. And to be honest, they could make 10 times the profit from shirt sales if they brought in, for example, Rodrigo. Because let's be real, if we signed Rodrigo, imagine the queue in the Armory in general to get Arsenal shirt with Rodrigo on the back. It would be somewhat same level hype as when we got Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Özil, and maybe even to some extent Aubameyang. Let's be real. It would actually bring in more money. The better players you bring in, the more money you get, the more eyes there would be on you from fans and from TV as well. Because in TVs and Sky Sports and in general interest also would be to show the best players play. So that also would coincide with the fact that they could get better game times, commercial times and everything, which obviously at the end of the day would add up to more money. Arsenal are linked with this and that, but nothing else has come out of it. And that is every single time. Exactly like that, it's every single time. Yeah, everyone's bigging up Normski, big up to the Matrix survivor. Odegaard fanboys are the worst. Oh, bloody hell, Odegaard. Oh, just sell him already. Big up, boys. And 4-3-3, that's what we play. Yeah. We forget Nico Williams. Well, we are not getting him, are we? Odegaard should have the captaincy stripped of him 100% without shadow of a doubt. Odegaard should be stripped and shipped. One-way ferry to Bergen. Yeah, send him back to Oslo or wherever. Midfielders, CDM holding midfielders, CM box-to-box cam, role playmaking. We need a lot. Gubby should be captain next season. Gubby or Rice. Like, one of the two. Obviously, for me, personally, it would be Gabriel. But maybe some people have other thoughts. Make Rice the vice captain. Definitely don't make player like Saka the captain. Because whenever Saka has been the captain, and when he goes talk to the refs, they just say, well, get away from here. They just do that, basically. We don't need Nico Williams. There's nothing special. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Sign Eze instead, 60 million. Exactly. Would be cheaper. Let's be real. Plus, the English quota also plays a big role. Left wing, inside forward, right wing, shadow strikers. It's all about talent with Williams. He's got it for a modern winger. Yeah, in that regard, yes. But we also don't play to utilize that to the maximum abilities, do we? I assume that means Barcola, not Barclays. That's autocorrect just talking. Giddens, Lookman. Like, get Lookman, maybe. Barcola, maybe. But for me, I wouldn't be annoyed too much with getting Barcola, but I don't rate Barcola maybe as highly as others do. I'm just going to say it right now. Big up Normsky. Realistically, how many signings do we get this summer? That's the question for the ages, isn't it? Sorry. In ideal scenario, we should be getting 5 or 6 signings. In ideal scenario, just to cover also some bases from the players that are leaving for free and we're gonna sell, potentially. Maybe even 7. Do I see Arsenal do such big business? No, I don't. At best, I can see Arsenal signing 2, maybe 3, 3, let's just say 3 players, and maybe bringing 1 more player on loan. I can see that. But you never know, do you? You genuinely never know with Arsenal. One thing I'm kind of concerned for is that Arsenal are not going to pull a Nottingham Forest or something like that and sign about 7 to 10 players in one window, obviously. So I don't expect Arsenal to sign about 6, 7 players. In ideal, we need that much. At the same time, well, I would say 5, 6. Because we need 3 massive star players and 2 bench players. And if we sign 5 players in that quorum, right? 3 massive stars, that means that some of the stars go to the bench. Which means that our bench would also get better. I just put it that way. But do I see Arsenal doing that type of business? No chance whatsoever. Right wing, not many good chances. Yeah, 6 or 7, see? Marlon's saying 6 or 7. David Dean helped Arsene Wenger a lot with big signings when they were together. Yeah, he helped a lot. I wish we had something like that right now. At the end of it all, Williams is simply not realistic for us to sign because of his wage demands. Kroenke would have to put money in. Well, true. Most likely, yeah, most likely. Because if he wants to have the same amount of salary as Bukayo Saka, that is just ludicrous. Let's just say it as it is. And for Arsenal, it's kind of insane because if you look what is coming out on social media these days, what accountants are saying, what other people who are tapped more into management and financial management more specifically, they say Arsenal have no issues whatsoever with FFP, with PSR, all these layer combinations, abbreviations, however you want to say. Arsenal can easily spend around 300 million with their eyes closed with no concerns. If that is true, and we are just not spending, well, that says everything you need to know about the ambition of the club. Let's just put it that way, and the owners. Does Arteta hitting his minimum with the other players like Palace, Newcastle, Spurs winning cups given less time, cash, does that get him sacked? Imagine if Forest or Villa win Europa Leagues next season. I'm not gonna lie. I said this as soon as Crystal Palace won the FA Cup. Crystal Palace won the FA Cup, they get in Europa League, right? And if they manage to keep Eze, Mateta, Gehi, all of their best players, they managed to sign some proper players. I think they could, and with the fact that from Champions League teams don't drop into Europa League, I would put Crystal Palace within a shout of actually getting quite far in Europa League. Maybe even winning it if stars align, let's just put it that way. Because Glasner has won Europa League before. He knows how to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Crystal Palace, despite everything, gets actually quite far in that competition. And to be honest, Glasner came out after the season and said, next season we are in 4 competitions: Prem, Carabao, FA and Europa League. We're gonna go for all 4 cups without shadow of a doubt. We're gonna push it to the limit. So that also says a lot about the manager and his ambitions for the next season. Also sends a message to the board, get me the proper players. Don't trade Barkle at all. I get that. I utterly get that. Realistically, we only get 3 signings at best. That is my expectation. 3 signings, maybe 1 on loan. That is my realistic expectation. What we should be doing, getting about 5-6 players. Let's just put it that way. We need 3. Striker, left wing, and a number 6. You could argue we need a left back as well. You could make that argument because once Kelly alone is not enough. You cannot trust Calafiori as far as you can throw him. And Kivior hasn't played left back for a long time. That is also provided if Kivior stays. So I think the left back position also is not under a good situation. And France is number 1 left wing choice but has Doué for competition. One thing I will say about France though. How comes we don't do any business with French players anymore? Because Arsenal were used to know to be fully tapped into French market. Obviously, quite massive influence came from Arsene Wenger, right? But now if you look for Arteta, he hasn't signed a single Frenchman whatsoever. He signed some potential wannabe Spanish good players, and well, tries, and then he signs in between some Zinchenkos and Calafioris and all these guys. But we are not signing the cream of the crop even in Spain. Wenger actually got for us some very decent French players, to say the least. How comes we have totally abandoned this market? And on top of that, why we are not doing any business with South American department? Because whenever you see the transfer window, Man City get gem after gem from South America. Nottingham Forest are about to sign 3 players from Brazil this window alone. Edu is already making the moves. He's flying to Brazil at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, with Marianakis' permission and everything. And of course, we are not even talking about the Portuguese teams. Why are we not in that market whatsoever? Because one day, not even one day, that was a few days ago, I was looking at Arsenal's team before the stream, and I genuinely thought, how many, for example, Argentinians have been at Arsenal? Obviously, first things first, I named Emi Martinez. And after that, my mind went completely blank. And I kid you not, I checked it. And Arsenal have had, in their history, if my memory doesn't deceive me on top of my head, only 2 Argentinian players ever. And one of them is Emi Martinez, as we all know. Why? Why are we not going to River Plate, Boca Juniors, Independiente, Rosario, Santa Fe, or wherever, Arsenal from Argentinian league, and never just look at their star talents? Because Man City got Alvarez, Echeverri, and all these guys. They get some good players from there. Many teams, same goes for Portuguese teams. They usually go for Brazilians, yes, but they also get some Argentinians. La Liga teams get some decent Argentinians. There's always some good Argentinians coming out of somewhere. Why? How comes we never dabble in those markets? That for me is an also big question. I just cannot figure out why we are so solely focused on one direction. Just one direction. We don't have broad spectrum, and we don't have for example, an octopus, 8 tentacles, and we put our hands in every single cookie jar. And that means the market's different ones. We just focus on one, pretty much. I have gone for Zubimendi, Eze, and Gyökeres. I get that. That would be fantastic 3 signings, I'm not gonna lie. We need more than 3. I only see us getting 3 in though. That is the thing. That is the biggest issue. What we need and what we most likely are gonna get at the end of the day is not gonna be enough, because Arsenal have this thing where they always do the bare minimum to keep themselves afloat, to keep them at a certain level, and in this instance, top 4. It happened under Wenger. Although Wenger was working with much worse teams, they had some better players here or there, but overall, worst team and everything. And at the same time, well, we are where we are. I don't rate Nico Williams. I rate his... Yeah, I was screaming about 5-6 years ago to sign in Nico Williams. and people call me a moron. Iñaki Williams is useless. I'm not gonna lie, Iñaki Williams is better than pretty much any attacking option we have in the team. I would love to have Iñaki Williams at Arsenal. I think we're screwed. Yeah, most likely we are. Palace Europa League and European spot is under threat. Their minor owner at Palace, Texta, has stakes in Lyon and Bromby in Conference League. So despite earning their place, Palace may not be making it. That is so bad. If they get banned for that and someone else gets in, man, that is so stupid. I'm not gonna lie. That is so fucking stupid. Palace deserves to be in Europa League without shadow of a doubt. Like, what are we doing here? I think we don't bother with the French market anymore since PSG rise to power. Might be the case. But we don't have also a person who actually knows the market. Arsene Wenger used to know the market at the time of Marseille, Jardin de Bordeaux, Lyon, when those teams are more dominant, Monaco as well. PSG were not pretty much anything at the time. They were there, but they were not such a big team at the time. But that is the thing. Wenger had at least talent ID, and he knew who to get and when and why. Arteta has legitimately negative talent ID. Arteta signs crap, which is his favorites. Yeah, for me that is the biggest issue. Arteta signs players to fit his system, right? He signs the player and says, well, you have to adjust to my system, well, or you are screwed. But if you look at pretty much every single top manager in the world, he adjusts his system, minor tweaks, minor adjustments, he still plays the same way, but he adjusts the system to integrate that player in the best ability possible into that team, to highlight his strengths and hides his weaknesses. Arteta does the complete opposite. We don't sign Argentinians. Exactly. Why? Like, seriously, why? Because if you want to tell me that there is no market for Argentinians, you are utterly blind. We don't sign Argentinians because they're off. Don't act like... Unfortunately, it's everywhere. You won't escape it. Spanish fans are the same. English fans are also the same and everything. Italian fans are the same. French fans are... It's everywhere. Unfortunately, that's one of those things you cannot escape. KT was our best left back and now he's gone. Yeah, he's gone to Celtic. Best of luck to him, and to be honest, I can see him winning trophies already next season. Exactly, I don't know why. Nelson Vivas, is he good, Mike? You watch Argentina League, is he good? Asna need more than 3 players. We had small squad including injuries, 23-man squad we had I think last year. End of the season, now 4 or more players are out the door or want to leave. We need 8 players. Exactly. Like, we had 24-man squad. 2 are leaving for free in Jorginho and Tierney. And then 2 are leaving out of loan, so we are losing 4. And we are down to 21-man squad. If we sign even 3 players only, we are back. We are back to the same number we were last season, so it's the same. Nothing has changed. We need more. Oh, it's the second Argentinian who used to play for Arsenal, right? Vivas. Big up, Mike. Big up. I like... Yeah, he was the only another Argentinian Arsenal player. Like, I knew that name sounded familiar, but I generally couldn't connect the dots. I knew that I was looking at it, only 2 were there. Big up, Mike. Big up. Top memory. Top memory. Calafiori has been so disappointing. The thing is, Calafiori has actually been quite decent going forwards, and you cannot deny it. The issue with him is the defending. Unfortunately, he gets played out of position. I want to see him play as a center back, right? But we are never going to see that. Unless we play, let's just say, 5 at the back, and the Calafiori plays as a wing back, or as a left-sided center back in those formations, I don't think we will see the best of Calafiori. He will continue to get injured, and we will sell him for about 15 million in a year or 2 to Sassuolo, Spal, Venezia, Spezia, back to Bologna, wherever. Unfortunately. Arteta is a scrub while we can win cups and titles with a small squad. Slot Ange, Eddie Howe, son of a... Exactly. You want to tell me Ange didn't have injuries this season? He had insane amount of injuries. I assume British and foreign players can... Big up Cornell, big up Cornell, big up Kenya, big up Cornell. Klopp used to keep 22-man squad and play rock and roll football, and Pep doesn't have more than 18 to 20 players every season. Yeah, Pep also said he doesn't need bigger squad. He doesn't want bigger squad. I get it. But at least the thing is, if you look at their bench, right? There are actually some good players there. There actually are some very good players. We're not even talking about Man City, who have basically another starting 11 on the bench pretty much. Even Liverpool, they actually have very good bench. That is the biggest thing. Arsenal have none of that. So basically Liverpool and City can rotate to some extent. Anyone can, the Argentines do it. Yeah, I get it, but it's a player, you know. Like, if we're gonna go by these type of metrics, we might as well not sign anyone. This is why I didn't even pay attention to the Alvarez rumors. He's not in our market. Unfortunately. Big up Kwame. Big up. Thank you for dropping by. Won't get away with it at Arsenal. We can't even kick a ball away after a whistle has been blown without shit finding us. We can't even breathe in the proper direction. Arsenal's third kit. This third kit actually looks nice, I'm not gonna lie. Arsenal have allocated extra funds to Mertesacker to improve the under-18s and under-21s. Totally get that. Juan Garcia is moving to Barcelona. Good luck to him. Every summer, Arsenal have a player that gets linked from previous summer. We used to have Daily Hussein Mawar. We used to have, for a few years, we had Daily Young Villa for a few years. We had Daily Dusan Vlahovic for a few years. And now it looks like that now for a few years, we're gonna have Daily Leroy Sané. Because Leroy Sané is a free agent, if I'm not mistaken, by the end of June. And he still hasn't signed a contract extension at Bayern Munich. And in the wide areas, Arsenal have explored a number of options. Senior figures at the club have held talks with Leroy Sané. The expectation has been that Sané would renew with Bayern Munich, but Arsenal are an alternative if he decides to move. Arsenal coaching staff are also keen admirer of Rodrigo. If we only could sign him, well, would sign him. We can sign him, but we just won't. The numbers associated with the hypothetical deal would be challenging. So you much rather pay Nico Williams 300 grand a week rather than Rodrigo you would pay 300 grand a week. Makes sense. Arsenal is interested in Nico Williams being long-standing, while Anthony Gordon is another who the club like, but who would command high fee. As if Rodrigo wouldn't demand high fee. It's like the same thing gets regurgitated every single goddamn day. I kid you not. We talked about this. Skelly new deal. We are not gonna touch on that. We all know this. But here we go. According to Sky Sports chef, Leroy Sané appears to have been offered to Arsenal, but Arsenal have shown no real interest in signing him. Good news. I guess that's good news, isn't it? That's very good news. Quality in depth. I don't want a small squad, but I say to that to say small squad is no excuse for that fraud. Exactly. Even if you have a small squad, at least have proper squad so you can rotate the players. If you want to have 22-man squad, right? I have no problem. But at least you have some proper replacements for rotation. Not if you sub off Bukayo Saka, you have to put on Reece Nelson. If you sub off, oh God for help us all, Kai Havertz, you have nobody you want to sub on. You put Merino or number 6 at striker. Like if you sub off Saliba, you have to put, well, Kiwior there or something like that. Like if you sub Odegaard off, which would be nice, when you do it on, to be honest, about 30 to 40% of his career at Arsenal, to be honest. But hey, and Odegaard should be sold in general. But yeah, you have nobody to sub on. Like, that is the biggest issue. You don't have the subs. Please, no Spursy white kit. I want an away kit styled in 09-08 season. That was the one. Which one was that? I'm sorry, I'm blanking all this. This one? Oh, I'm not gonna lie, first player that comes to mind when I see this kit, Santi Cazorla instantly. I'm not gonna lie, Santi Cazorla instantly comes to my mind when I see this kit. I don't know why, but instantly. Like, no hesitation, just click, it's Santi Cazorla. The academy took a nosedive since Mertesacker took over. He should be sacked. Nah, Mertesacker is the best part of the academy right now. See, that is the contradiction we have. You could argue that Mertesacker arguably is the reason why we have Manieri, Max Dauman, Skelly, and some other up-and-coming youngsters. The issue is they don't get used, which is the sad part, because some of these youngsters actually are better than our main guys. Arteta is sabotaging all the youth that gets promoted. Yeah, he is. Berta should induce the players to down tools and get Arteta sacked. Would be nice. I would definitely argue that point on Mertesacker being good for the academy. Yeah, I get it. Like, there will be lots of these. We're gonna agree to disagree to many instances. Oh, this is nice. Random question for you all. Would you take Edin Dzeko as a free transfer as a backup striker? Edin Dzeko, 39, will be a free agent this summer. He's leaving Fenerbahce. His stats for the Turkish club: 64 goals in 99 games. Would you take him as a potential backup for the striker spot? Let's just say we sign Gyökeres, right? And Edin Dzeko is the backup. Would you be okay with that? We aren't that desperate to be getting Dzeko. I get it. I totally get it. But this manager is actually kind of nuts. Like, he had Butler Yadeji for the whole season, never used him pretty much. He used him once for a few seconds. He had Mika Biereth, didn't use him once, sold him. He's banging goals at Monaco. To be honest, Mika Biereth at Monaco has scored more goals in 3.5 months. 3.5 months than Arsenal's best striker has done the whole season combined. Let that sink in, by the way. He in 3-4 months is like the 5th or 6th top goal scorer in the league. Mika Biereth didn't give a chance to Belgium. Didn't give a Chidobe Martin saw all the shit and pieced the scene and ruined Aubameyang. Ruined like the attacking position from Mikel Arteta. He has ruined it all to maximum extent. And after 750 million spent, we have genuinely spent about 120 to 140 million in that spot. And then look who we have signed. Jesus, Willian, Marquinhos. Who else is there? Trossard. And that's about it. Genuinely, that's about it. Havertz was a midfielder, throw him up top. Merino, midfielder, throw him up top. Dzeko suits and bags goals. As a backup, I wouldn't be against it. Why not? Free signing, he wouldn't mind sitting on the bench, coming on and everything. At least give us something. Like, if you're not gonna sign 2 proper strikers, sign 1 big one and get, for example, Dzeko as a backup. Bruh, I had memory hold losing Obi Martin and Heaven. Dude, doesn't that say a lot about Mikel Arteta and Arsenal if Aiden Heaven and Chido Obi Martin leave Arsenal to go to Man United, who finished 15th in the league? Aiden Heaven played in Europa League final, by the way. He may have been at City while Arteta was there. Not sure. Maybe yes. Look at all these Mertesackers making the academy shit and Arteta frees them out. Yeah, frees them out for Sterling. Sag this Arteta guy. I'm tired of this. It is. It's 1 or 2 players. Well, anyways, what else is there? Barcelona sporting director Deco said that they are not looking for a striker. Still linked with Man United, by the way. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up there. Managerial, 20 million. 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 20 Gyökeres is Atletico Madrid's priority. It goes all over the place. All of a sudden, Gyökeres is linked with Madrid, Atletico, United, Arsenal, and Chelsea and some other teams. I swear to God, oh fucking hell, that hurt. I swear to God, if Gyökeres signs for Chelsea or Liverpool, I'm gonna flip my shit. Apparently, according to rumors, he wants to return to England, which is nice. The question is, will it be Arsenal? Will it be Arsenal? Okay, for the end part of the stream, I'm gonna put this on the screen. Let me know what you think about this. Each year, Mertesacker is getting 1 or 2 players out the academy that look good enough to play in the Prem. That's incredible. That's like La Masia numbers. You could argue that. To be honest, in the last 3-4 years, we have had about 4 or 5 good players we could have played in Premier League on actually very consistent basis. And we just haven't. Vangieri is the one who has gotten the most minutes. Then there's obviously Skelly. And then there was a chance, arguably, to play someone else. But he didn't. He just generally binned them off and everything. Like, didn't give him a chance. Which is the most annoying part. Some of these guys don't even get a chance. They get promoted or they sit on the bench and they don't even get a chance. Exactly, Kozer-Dewberry. Kozer-Dewberry went to Brighton and got loaned out to Millwall, if I'm not mistaken, last season, right? Kozer-Dewberry, there were lots of these. No wonder Heaven and those guys left. But yeah, how is Mikel Arteta put in great category? On the same level as Conte, Unai and Pochettino. Iconic, Blanc, Ranieri, Del Bosque and Benitez. World class, Tuchel, Enrique, Simeone, Zidane. Legends, Henry, Jose, Klopp and Ancelotti, and the GOATs, Sir Alex and Pep. How is Mikel Arteta scanned his way into this list? How... Also Poch, to be honest. How have those two scanned their way into this list? Enrique is a legend. You could argue 2 trebles for Enrique, one with Barcelona, one with PSG. To be honest, like, only reason Wenger isn't the GOAT in terms of world football is because he has no European pedigree. If he had one, at least one Champions League, he would be up there without shadow of a doubt. How Conte is only great is also a big question to me. He should be higher. Like, serious talk. Like, this is weird. Zinedine Zidane, world class, is a bit of a mystery, isn't? Also, he won back-to-back Champions Leagues. Who is ever gonna do that again? Arguably. Who is gonna do that? Like, serious talk. Like, the academy isn't producing. Well, the big thing is we don't sell our academy players. That for me is the big issue here. Because you'll watch Chelsea, City, all these teams sell their academy players who haven't kicked the ball for the main team for 15, 20, 25 million. Arsenal just let them go for free. Like they did last summer. 21 youngsters let them go for free. Conte is world class. Yeah, without shadow of a doubt. The academy was dreadful before Mertesacker took over. Zidane is a legend. I would put him up there. Academy is used to win titles on Premier League 2 or be competitive. Like, yo, Mertesacker shit, Emil Smith Rowe from the academy. Arteta fraud plays Willian. Oh, we forgot Willock. We can't beat Willock. The academy and Mertesacker are not a problem right now. It's Arteta, to be honest. Yes, I had someone in TikTok comment on one of my TikToks today and said, Arteta is not the problem. Arteta is not the problem. He's an excellent manager. Kroenkes are the problem. I get it that Kroenkes are a problem. At the same time, let's be real. This fraud of manager can't let young players touch grass because he's scared of their allergies or something. Basically, Mikel Arteta is scared that the youngsters are gonna show up, his beloved signed players, and Arteta is gonna look like a fool. One of the biggest things at some times in your life is you have to admit that you are wrong. And I don't see Mikel Arteta ever doing that. He will blindly just go through the wall. Just keep banging his head against the wall. Del Bosque was at least world class. arguably legend. I can make that argument as well. They missed out Brian. Oh, they know. No, ESR suck are products of Freddy's time in the academy, who recommended them to Emery. That is also true. That is also true. But Mertzacker was there. Yeah, he was there. In that regard, yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's that. Hopefully you're feeling great today. I think on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream as well. Haven't mentioned at all, but if you haven't already, smash the like button. And subscribe if you're new. Road to 1K, 1,000 subscribers is going strong. Hopefully you had a great time. Tomorrow we're gonna be back without shadow of a doubt. If you haven't already, go check my YouTube short. Go check my TikTok and everything. Leave a comment, leave a like, share it around. Why not? Help a brother out, please. And anyways, but yeah, hope you have a great evening. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. You have been all fantastic. Big up Boyton, Why Not, Pepper, Mike, Normsky, big up Normsky, big up the Matrix. He came by. Big up Kwame, big up Cornell from Kenya. Big up you all, big up Marlon, big up everyone. You have been phenomenal today. You were amazing. So take care, stay safe. I'm gonna see you all tomorrow, and hopefully we actually get some good news for a change, because it's getting already, I'm not gonna lie, quite frustrating.